Hey everybody, thank you for watching my video. I appreciate you being here. If you have not subscribed, I would really love if you did. And if you already are, well, I love you. And if you like this video, then I like you too. And if you don't, I still like you. Anyways, um, up here is this economy system that I wrote down for my last video, which is that you buy armor, you save second round, and then you buy up whatever you have. The problem with this here is that you are put before you do anything, you're already behind the entire momentum and game is going on. You're just like, you just lost pistol round and you just gave up a round where you didn't buy anything, and now you're gonna start buying things and hoping that whatever you're thinking is gonna work. And sometimes it doesn't, and then when you reset your stuff and you're playing with matchmaking players, then oh man, they're all pissed off now. So no bueno. I think you should be forcing second round whenever you're on a double save, because that just makes people happier. It's a little easier to manage the money that way, because you don't have to think so much as far as calculating maps and angles, things like that. It's just simple, right? I'm gonna move my webcam so I can explain here on the side what this arrow is. So the whole goal of this way of buying, where you save second round and then buy third round and right in the beginning of the half, is for you on third round to have a full set of grenades. So you just use the time up, and then once it comes to, like, smokes fading, mollies fading, things like that, whatever weapon you have and the position you're playing, you're going to be putting yourself in an advantageous situation with the gear you have. You already need to know what you're going to be doing. You're not going to buy in this round, without thinking about it. You're going to have to figure out where you're playing, what you're going to do with that, right? Or you're gonna have strat, whatever the IGL is gonna do. You gotta have an idea about what you gotta do when you're buying round 3 in that certain pattern. Even if you do that, it can still be hard to retake. What if you have to retake a site? Well, depending on the map and depending on the angle you have to fight, if it's an AK crouching up and down behind a box, or just some guy who has more range than you, then what, your UMP or your MP7 is gonna kill this guy? Maybe. If they miss, maybe, but still one shot of the head, so that's all it takes. So it can be really hard. That's what happens when you buy in this order here, right? There's a lot more calculus involved. That's the word, calculus. You got to calculate more things. Duh. So, what happens if you save on round 2? So then on round 3, you can fight against Galil's, Mag-10, Scouts, whatever the bonus guns that the T side bought. Is it possible to be able to read this situation? I think you could read this thought into investing because of it. However, you're gonna have to already be saving second round, and then on round 3, hope that the entire team isn't dropping each other something, and also hope that they don't upgrade, and also hope that, you see what I mean? Like, if you do kill somebody, their teammate from the other team is gonna drop them the bonus gun they just had from the round they won already, and then they're gonna indicate themselves. So it's tricky. It might just depend on the map. I like this idea. I might get into this a little bit later as a more of research kind of a thing, but I'll let you know. But for now, my answer is it might just depend on the map, but it's already going to be hard to be able to gamble that, because you're just having to hope on certain things. There's too many variables. That's just my opinion. I appreciate the question, though. The main question: what if you save on pistol round? Like, don't buy anything on pistol round. So round 2, you have some options, and round 3, you also got a little bit more options. You have a little more money. And that's exactly what I try to get into, that main question. So what happens when you save round 2? How does that affect round 3? And all these other things that are going to come up, right? So let me show you. I'm going to move my webcam. Alrighty, so I have questions, or questions to answer. So pistol round, when you save, you're going to have $800. Before the round starts, you're going to have to consider and accept the terms, which is you won't have a kit. You're also going to have armor punch affect your aim a little bit. And you're going to receive less shots before you're out of the round, because the armor is going to absorb like an extra couple of shots. And if that armor punch and those extra shots are on point, then you have a little chance. So you got to be playing a little bit differently. So your play style and practice will have to be different than normally when you have armor versus when you don't, and you have no kit. So that's pretty tricky. Sometimes the last thing you can do is just defuse, and oh man, no kit. Imagine that, just because you have no kit, and then people are like, dude, you had $800. Why don't you buy a kit? Are you gonna spend your time there explaining to somebody that you don't even know why you had this idea in the first place? Probably not. Maybe you want to do this in the team, right? Or just do it in matchmaking. I don't know. I've been trying it out. It's actually kind of interesting, but I'll put some more information about this later on. Okay. So those are some of the thoughts and questions that people have. I mean, I would have and consider like at the ultimate stage of like survival of like how you're gonna win the round. At the very end, what if you have no kit, right? What if you get armor punch? That's the reason why you missed that last shot. It matters so much. All these little tiny pixels. You might want that armor that one time it didn't work. And again, you're just gonna get less shots and you're gonna die. That's it. So a little more risk involved. Does it pay off? So let's say you lost, no kills, no bonus money at all. You just stay with the lost bonus system. You're gonna have $2,700 on round 2. Now, one of the questions I have: are you gonna buy a helmet? Helmet. Yes, because if you have no helmet and the T's hit you with whatever cheap gun they have, that's just an opening for free, and that's so unfortunate. Like, oh man, why didn't I buy a helmet there? Because I had a Mag 10. Like, why didn't I think about it? That sucks, right? That's just an opening. It does happen. There's that one round by Team Liquid when Fallen was underpassing, he just comes out and shoots, I forget who, from connector. Instantly, this guy had no helmet, and that lost him the round. And also full save from the T side. Imagine that happens to you. That's gonna suck. So, reason why you don't buy a helmet is because you want to have grenades to burn the time. And also, you don't want a helmet because you want to be able to afford a kit, right? So all these questions here, helmet, kit, nades, what are you going to do round 2 with $2,700? I mean, it's a little limited. So speaking of being limited, let's move on to following these arrows here. We're going this way. So, okay. So, kit, grenades. I'm just going to read this out loud. Well, in round 2, and considering all these things here, do you have a plan for retaking when it comes to your grenades? Are you going to use your grenades defensively in the beginning, or are you going to use them for a retake? Like, how are you going to manage with the little things that you have and how much time you have to use up? Like, somebody is going to lurk in some corner and that's it. So, or whatever it is, information is going to be for free at some point for the T's, because like, what are you going to do? You know, it's harder. Yeah, and then are you gonna have any sort of like plays where you're gonna like info stack something? What are you gonna do round 2? Interesting, right? And so $2,700 is the cost of all this for round 2 if you're saving pistol rounds. So now let's move over to this part here. I don't know if you can see it, but I just circled here how much it costs if you were to buy a molly, smoke, flash, and a decoy. That's $11.50. What happens if you buy 2 flashbangs? That's $13.50. So $13.50, $2,700, and if you buy armor, that's $23.50. What are you gonna buy left? You can probably buy a P250. You can buy a P250 with a full grenade kit, with a full grenade set. I mean, FSU. What about, again? If you're gonna give up the opening, you're gonna get the helmet. I mean, or no helmet. And then if you want to prevent that opening, you get the helmet. That's already $650 or $1,000, and then your grenades here. So what about your kit? Who's going to buy the kit? What about your gun? What are you going to buy, right? So the thing is, if you want to save pistol round, like I kind of said already, I think this will work out because you're going to have to split up the gear and utility between you and your teammates. And if it's going to be a situation where people are just uncooperating and you got to tell people all this and that, it's not going to work out. You're going to have to probably have a strat already set up for yourself. You know, you got to tell people, buy this, and buy that. Why are you going to buy this? Because the money like this, nothing, it's too much. It's too much for just random people just to accept to be saving pistol round. Unless you just ask and then, hey guys, let's save pistol round. And then if you have an idea, if you've tried things out before, if you've done this so much, you can give a strat. You can figure out the math and grenades that people are going to buy. And also, I mean, who's playing where? Who's going to do what after everything's fading, right? So there's a lot more having to seek for things or having to get yourself ready than just standing around with grenades, playing more time without feeling that you have to do something to win the round. You're supposed to be CT side. I mean, you could be aggressive, but I mean, what map are you playing, right? Who's playing where? How do you even spawn? Do you even have a good spawn? Like, all these little things are going to matter. And well, your preferences, like all these other things, right? If you buy second round after saving pistol round, You have $1,700 if you want to buy the helmet. Can you be creative with $1,700? Yeah, you can buy a grenade, or if you get $650 for the armor, well, yeah, you can buy a smoke now, and you can get your armor, and then maybe get a shotgun or something like that. And if you get the shotgun kill, then you get some more loss bonus. What happens when you buy round 3? So round 3, again, you get no kills, you're just standing on the loss bonus system, you're going to have at least $5,100. If you use the M4A4, it's going to cost you $3,100. If you use the M4A1, it's $2,900, but sometimes the gun shoots super slow. So, you know, and the A4 shoots faster. I think that the time to kill is a little bit more important sometimes, unless your aim is really on it. But again, the rate of fire of the M4A1 sometimes is just not it against multiple targets. So $3,100 down the drain. Now you have $2,000 left for a helmet, nades, and a kit. $2,000 is not enough unless you buy no helmet, because player A is going to buy chest, a kit, and he has a little bit left for grenades. But player B is going to ignore the kit because he can afford everything down to 0. Player C, who's thinking about the opening about the helmet, can only afford $1,000 for the grenade and a kit. So this person is probably going to have to skip the helmet, just go for the chest. This is probably the way most general players are going to buy, and maybe the IGL or rotator or hold or the anchor of sight is going to buy the kit. But now your anchor only has $950. So maybe give it to the rotator. And then player B, who's going to have everything but no kit. So then you're going to try to retake with the player from the other side without a kit. And are you actually going to try it, or are you going to try to drop your teammates? What are you going to do there? How does buying or getting a kill affect any of this? Well, you're going to have a little bit more money. There's going to be a little bit more space for you to not have to consider all these other gaps between your teammates' equipment and yourself, and where you're playing, where you're spawning, what map you're on. Man, so you're not going to have enough money for you to have all a kit, a full kit and everything, because you're going to have to separate all the equipment. One's going to have this, one's going to have this, and then 2 or 3 players are going to have everything except the kit and no helmet. And that's okay. That seems like a normal buy. Everything's fully bought up without a helmet, but you have 3 missing kits, 1 kit, and then 1 guy who maybe also has a kit. Again, I really like this. I was going to say appreciate, but I really like this idea of saving and maybe forcing second round, because maybe you're going to have a little bit more money, because you can, for $2,700, you can buy a Negev. Imagine in the Negev second round, and then round 3, you still have the Negev because you saved it or whatever. Then even if you don't have it, you can just buy another Negev. Just burn more time. Forget the grenades. Just buy a Negev. That's kind of a joke, not really. So what happens when you save second round and third round? Well, I just showed you a lot of things, so I don't think I gave you an exact answer yet. So this is my answer. What happens? Well, round 2 and round 3, you're going to have to consider that you're not going to have everything. And if you try to have everything, you're going to have one thing missing, and then, you know, the kit's going to be missing, or some guy's not going to have a helmet. So you're not a fully kitted up, bought up team by round 3, even if you save on pistol. Is that worth it? If you're good enough, I think so. Because if you win the pistol round, you got a ton of money now. And yeah, it's just, do you take your chances? Like, there's so many things, right? So speaking of chances, my next question is, like I kind of hinted toward the end, what happens when you get a kill in all these situations? Well, all this writing stuff is not going to matter as much, because then you're going to have $3,000 here if you got 1 kill, or $5,400 here, and then you can buy a helmet. So yeah, it's really cool. Speaking of cool, let me show you that next question that I have. Let me just move the camera. I hope you're able to see this. It's a little dark. The lighting here is not good. It's a little later in the day, so I'll try to read everything out loud. So the main question in the next video that I'll get into is, how do drops or frags change things? Meaning, what if you get bonus money? What if you also, what if you drop your teammates? Or what if you get frags? How does it affect the situation where before, when if you were to save second round and then buy third round, and then later on, let's say you save third round and you drop it or something like that, how are drops going to affect the game? I really like this question because it put me on my spot that, oh wow, I need to do more research. So I will do this for the next video. To give you a little bit of hint about what the next video will be about, I put some questions here. A lot of questions came up. So why are you going to save? Are you dropping somebody? Do you already have grenades before you drop? Do you feel comfortable with rebuying the same gun or something weaker because you just dropped somebody after you just lost a round similar with grenade and kits and stuff that you already had? So you're going to try the same thing again? Or again, and what are you going to buy yourself after you drop too? Like, where are you going to be spawning? Where are you going to be playing? Are you going to just ignore the spawn and just go for like that spot you always go to? Or are you going to take that spawn and peek? Or what can you do on round like 15 or round 13? What are you going to buy when you're in a situation where you have to probably save or buy? Are you going to try? Are you going to give your chances up? Or are you going to just wait for the overtime? That's a lot of questions. I mean, the way I want to answer this is I'm probably have to look up regular games. I'm gonna have to check out my games. I'm gonna have to manage my economy so it can fit in a way for another video. And yeah, sounds pretty good. And I'm willing. And I really, really love this question because it's gonna have a lot of research involved. Anyways, I hope I answered your questions. I mean, honestly, I recorded and re-recorded many times. I'm so lost mentally. I think I need to eat something. I'm just going to slide this back so I can make my point clearly one time. Or twice. Well, hopefully just one time. I'll do this one time. Should you save pistol round because of the benefit that it could give you in the future? That's a hard question. Should you save for the future? I'm not talking about real life. I'm talking about the in-game. So in-game, if you're thinking about the economy so much, if this game is busted because of the economy, you having to think about how busted it is, that you gotta save and not even play and not live in the moment, that's not too good. But maybe if you just give your chances and just focus in the moment, you can try something. But that's interesting, right? Because now we're thinking about consciousness and just being active in your focus and all that. How does that affect the actual game? Well, mentally, how does it affect the game? That's for a different question. That's for a different video. But would I save second round? Would I save on pistol round? Yeah, I'll save pistol round so I can just find out. I'm going to keep doing that, by the way, on my matchmakings and whatnot. And when I play Face It, maybe I'll just buy a kit only. We'll see what happens. Or just buy no armor. I need to find out. Yeah, but I mean, still, I think the same thing is that you gotta force when you're on double save, because then you don't gotta have a whiteboard so you can write all kinds of things about this and that. Unless you're a professional team and you want to actually spend the time and just do all the math and just what happens in this situation and all that, totally down for that. But if you're just playing matchmaking, I don't know if this is for you. It could be for you for your personal knowledge, absolutely. But if you're going to try to explain these things to somebody on the fly, you gotta either know what you're talking about for a long time and be able to summarize your words, or ignore it and just buy when you have to double save. By double saving, I mean your entire team can have a kit. I mean, if your whole team can have a kit and helmet and grenades and whatever gun they want, that's a full buy to me. Because if you have a helmet, you have that blind spot of an opening, the possibility when you have no helmet and somebody just glocks you, that possibility is gone. And the possibility of whether you can defuse the bomb or not, that possibility is gone. So now you have everything you need. That sounds better. What about, again, that question of if you save second round and buy third round and you buy against the economic weapons that the T side has, you could do that, but you already have to assume second round that you're going to be saving, and maybe depending on the map, would depend on the angles you have to fight, and then for you to have an advantageous situation with the range and stuff like that. Because if they have AKs on third round because somebody else dropped their teammate, Well, it's the same thing. You're just force buying in a situation with weaker weapons. Yeah. So thank you for watching. I'm gonna go eat a sandwich. I hope you subscribe.